moving right along, I'd like to just read a little excerpt from the article that I wrote. And it's important, you know, all of us here, I'm sure, have talents of writing. I wrote this article on my sick bed. I had about a year of very severe illness. And one night, I was laying in my bed, and I was watching a movie called Stomp the Yard. And it talked about fraternal life and how fraternities in general have a great effect on college life. And if you go throughout the country, whether it's Alpha Phi Alpha or any fraternity, you'll find that they influence the life of the college students, more so on other campuses as others. And all of a sudden I got this idea, and all of a sudden it dawned on me about the whole concept that history was made on this campus. And I just started writing. And I think that talking to other people who've written stories and authors, inspiration comes at a moment when you least expect it. And that's the background on me writing this. So I didn't sit down one day and say, oh, I'm going to write an article. It just came. So, in life, what we start sometimes stays around for others to become a part of, to enjoy, and receive the benefits thereof. What is really special is the fact that what we started may also have significance in history. Those of us who are responsible for this moment are truly blessed. We have been allowed by fate to contribute to history. A moment such as this for me and 6 other Adelphi students of Afro-American descent happened 38 years ago. It took place at Adelphi University, Livermore Hall in Garden City. To put this moment in the right perspective, remember this: in the late 1960s and 1970s, unwanted yet historic moments were happening throughout the entire country. Men and women of African American descent and college students were involved in racial tensions because this country was divided. There were all sorts of happenings in the streets and on college campuses. This historic moment that happened on Adelphi's campus that involved 7 Afro-American students was simply a result of a written request by 7 students to the university. Their request was simply to allow them to become an undergrad chapter of a national Afro-American Greek-lettered fraternal organization known as Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. This organization was the first Afro-American Greek-lettered fraternity in the United States. It also was founded by 7 Afro-American undergrad students at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. They were known as the 7 Jewels. These men were highly successful in their scholastic endeavors and thusly in their professions. Their professions were in the following areas: medicine, civil engineering, education, architecture, commissioned officer in the National Guard, administration officer of the Committee of the Appropriations of the United States Senate, and secretary to the National Urban League. The 7 Jewels set the tone and paved the way for many renowned fraternity members. Just to name a few: Dr. Martin Luther King, Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, opera singer, orator, author Paul Robeson, and our very own Congressman Gregory Meeks. Many Adelphi students who were Alpha Phi Alpha members have successfully made their mark in their chosen professions, and their success is contributed to the education that they received at Adelphi and the educational and personal growth experience that they achieved by pledging Alpha Phi Alpha and becoming members of the fraternity. the article goes further, but I think I've set the tone by reading that to you. One of the things that I wanted to express is that when we put this chapter together, we did it to offer an enrichment to the student body, and we tried to set a tone that was already set. When I came on this campus, Alpha Brother Robert Robertson was the chairperson of the Black Student Union, and he was very instrumental in helping a lot of us to feel welcome on this university and to become a part of the student body. So one of the messages that I wanted to send out to the student body here is, over the years that I've left Adelphi, I've learned a couple of concepts that I'm sure a lot of you have learned. And one is to take advantage of time. Time goes so quickly through the atmosphere that one day you wake up and you find yourself in a different set of shoes, a different home, and a different setting. When I came to this university, one of my professors said to me in the theater department, "Larry, do not waste time in life." He said, before you know it, you're going to graduate from Adelphi, and before I knew it, I was. Then I'm standing in front of all of you 30 some odd years later, and I look back on everything that happened. I come onto this campus and I see the growth that this campus has, and at the same time, I look at the spirit of the students that are walking around this campus. And it can only be attributable to the faculty, from high to low, and the times in which we live. I enjoy coming on this campus. I've had the privilege of coming here for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've talked to some of the students, and I found that there's a good spirit that exists on this campus. So I'm diversing a little bit from the events, but I would be remiss in not addressing the students. The last but not least thing that I would like to say is that I had the privilege in my corporate life of being a director of sales training and development. And one of the things we talked about in life was attitude, discipline, and desire. And that starts very, very early. Be a dreamer. You have dreams of being an athlete, of being a congressman, or whatever. Follow your dream and never let anyone take your dream away. Set your goals and go after them. Right now, I am no longer in corporate America. And after 30 some odd years, I'm on a different path instead of retiring. I'm going to follow my dream that I started here at Adelphi in the music and entertainment world. And that's happened over the past 8 months. So when most people are thinking of retiring, I have some crazy screw up in my head that says, go and find and go after your dream. It is never, ever too late. As long as you're living, you should have a dream that pushes you forward in life. And that's a small message I would like to just give to the students. So I know we're on a time schedule, and I can't really get involved in too much up here about the event, but this university should be very proud to know that this is the birthplace of the Alpha Phi Alpha chapter. Because of what we started, there are now chapters throughout the Long Island area. Right now, the prominent chapter is at Hofstra University. When we put lines over, CW Post had a chapter, New York's Institute of Technology had a chapter. Now there are chapters in Queens and all throughout the metropolitan area. So I feel very blessed and honored to have been a part of that movement along with my line brothers and the other founders of this chapter. So again, I'd like to thank Suzette for inviting me up here to share a few moments with you. And if anybody would like to borrow my props, that's what we do in the theater department. We loan props out and we share. And thank you for being a gracious audience.